All right, everybody. It's time to start. Thank you for coming out on Christmas Eve. And I'd like for you to just take a minute to just kind of bring your energies into it. I feel like we're going to have a special connection tonight. Feels good to me. Do you know that you need to practice forgiveness before you sleep? If you don't, you're going to keep experiencing conflicted energies even in your dreams. That's what it says. It's very important. Time should never be taken frivolously. Play with it. 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 Yeah. But you have to play with time. You have to play with time out of consciousness. That means you must play with time out of clarity. Be clear, be conscious, and play with time. Out of recognizing that there's no such thing as an idle thought. 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 Woo. Each thought. So what does that mean? That there's no such thing as an idle thought. It means that each thought creates a world of experience. Each thought creates a world of experience. Now, I'm going to say that, and when you really hear me, I want you to just raise your hand like that. When you really hear me, when you tuned in and you really hear me, each thought creates a world of experience for you. Each one of your thoughts creates a world of experience for you. Each of your thoughts creates a world of experience for you. Each one of your thoughts creates a world of experience for you. All right? And you are worthy of experiencing heaven, and heaven is a state of perfect joy. So when I say heaven, I'm talking about a state of perfect joy. So I'll say that to you. You are worthy of experiencing perfect joy. You are worthy of experiencing perfect joy. You are worthy of experiencing perfect joy. Do you know that you, I'm talking about you, yeah, that you. You are worthy. 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 You are worthy of experiencing perfect joy. All right. We're going to dive into this. Now, you know, in a way of mastery class, you don't have to believe anything I say. You accept it, welcome it. Some of it might be hard to believe. Some of it might be hard to believe. It's okay if you don't believe it. It's okay. It's all right. My feelings won't be hurt. It's okay. Because I found out the secret of learning all this stuff. And the secret is accepting it for yourself. Accepting it for yourself. I can do that. Because when I try to make somebody else accept something I'm talking about is when I run into problems. But I love it. All I have to do is accept it for myself. That's deep. That's deep. So tonight we're going to start with following the thread of desire. It's lesson 4 on page 41 in the way of the heart. So I'm going to go through the material, about 10 minutes of the material, then we'll throw it open for question and discussion, and then I'll go through about 10 more minutes. And so that way we'll keep moving forward, but we also have a chance to get a clearer understanding out of what we're reading. It's with great joy that I walk with you in the way that you've chosen. For in truth, there is not a time that I'm not with you. There is not a place in which you can journey where you will not discover my presence. Only reality is true. And reality is simple. Reality is simple because there's just a simplicity to love. It's funny. It's like you be telling people, well, you know, all we got to do to get past the problems that we think we're having with each other is just love each other. And people look at you like you just not giving an answer to the situation at all. Like, what? Huh? No, you need a mediator. No, if I loved you and you loved me for real, we wouldn't have any problem. Because I love you as I love myself, you love me as you love yourself. I would want your good, you would want my good. I would free you, you would free me. I wouldn't hold you responsible for what I'm going through. You wouldn't hold me responsible for what you're going through. We'd be connected to source. We'd be listening to guidance. We'd love ourselves. We would know our thoughts created, so we wouldn't have any lack in any way. And we would realize that, you know, to attack somebody, hold a grievance against somebody, that's just going to bring struggle and conflict to ourselves, so we wouldn't really want to do it. We would want peace more than anything. And so we would be looking for win-win situations for each other all the time. That would be the end of the problem. So so if I was going to play with time, what I would do would be trying to form relationships where I could play with that idea of loving. Play with that idea of being sane. Like it says right here, you know, in other words, I just play like I had some sense sometimes. Just for the fun of it. I play like I, you know. So it says, only reality is true, reality is simple, there is but the simplicity of love. From that ocean there is birth a multitude of forms, a multitude of worlds, a multitude of creations of which you are one. Like waves arising from the sea, those creations remain linked eternally to their creator. So you are one of the creations that has been created from that multitude. You were created. You were created. You were something thought you up. That's deep. You ever think about? You ever just stop sometime and go, I exist? You know, sometimes it hits me. You know, it's like I exist. I don't know how I exist. I don't always know why I exist. I don't even necessarily know where I came from. You get some chairs back there. You can just stick out. And but something, I mean, I'm here, and so are you. Something created us. So we were just told that we are still eternally linked to whatever created us. So whatever created us, we know whatever it is that created us, we must not have the right perception of the Creator. It's either there's no Creator, or we don't have any idea of what the Creator really is or how the Creator really operates. Some people, because of their religious beliefs, have thrown out the idea of a Creator. So when you mention a Creator, they get uptight. They don't feel good. They get resistance. I'm going through resistance. When you mention God, I feel resistance. And what they don't know is what they're resisting is the definitions and things that they learned about that idea. They're just resisting what they learned as children. So what's so cool is but let's forget all that. And let's be right here, right now, and let's admit we exist. Can we agree on that much? Yeah. Okay. And that we didn't create ourselves. Because if we did, we'd be doing a better job of controlling ourselves. Right? So this book is telling us, the way of mastery is saying we are eternally linked to our Creator, and you are just a wave arising out of the infinite ocean of love. So you are actually a wave. That's deep. Now, I never thought of myself as a wave. I thought of myself as a black dude, but I never thought of myself as a wave. But check this out. You're not just a regular wave. You're a wave arising out of a love ocean. Let me know when you hear that, Rachel. So far, it's not like everybody getting that idea, okay? So that means that I am a wave that has arisen from the ocean of my Creator's holy mind. And though two waves seem to appear separated by what is called time, by even 2,000 of your years, when seen from a much broader perspective, those waves have arisen simultaneously from the ocean's surface. The waves arise for the very same purpose. We are here for the very same purpose. We're going to do it in our own flavor. See, that's why we look different sitting around the room, even though we're the same thing. This is your flavor. This is your flavor. Chocolate, vanilla. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God.
Way deeper than just
I got me some chocolate tonight. Somebody, I got me a gift, some chocolates, put some chocolate. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Lord have mercy. All right. So even though we got our own flavor, we arose for the very same purpose, to express the simplicity, the innocence, the beauty, the creativity, the truth, and the reality of the ocean of love. So you are here to express the simplicity, the innocence, the beauty, and the creativity, and the truth of the reality of love. So you're actually here to do it in your own way. And if you're unhappy, and you're unfulfilled, it just means you aren't fulfilling your purpose. What is that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Little dissociated personality, Earl. To express innocence. So that means you need to be hanging around a lot of people that's trying to make you feel guilty all the time. No. If you're here to express the beauty, then maybe you don't want to be around people that never acknowledge yours. You're here to express creativity. Oh, but you're just following the way it was laid out to you from the world. And you're just following what you were programmed to be about. That's not using my creativity. The truth, and obviously that's not what the world is teaching us, so it'll be a much happier place. So we're here to be everything that's the opposite of everything we see. I know. Look around the room, we look like a pretty motley crew. That's because we're in disguise. That's because they couldn't handle our radiant robes. You know what I'm saying? So this is our disguise, you know what I'm saying? We are like the secret agents for love.
righteous.
That's right. So the waves delight in expressing what seems to be a unique individuality, yet the waves carry the common thread of being made of the same substance and are truly governed by the same laws of creation. So we, the waves, we are delighting in our unique individuality. I'm glad it looks like there's an Earl Purdy and there's not another one anywhere. I enjoy the fact that I have my own unique way of being and expressing myself. And at the same time, I know I carry the same common thread because we're all made out of the same substance, love, and we're governed by the same laws of creation, which is saying basically, what you think and what you focus on, that's what you're going to perceive and experience. Like I say, every thought's creating our experience. So we're the same in that every thought is creating our experience, but we're doing it with our own unique individuality. So you don't know the moment of your arising, for only the depth of the ocean unseen can know the moment when it chooses to well up and to create the expression of the waves. So you don't know when that creativity and that love and that beauty and that truth and that simplicity within you and that which created you is going to raise you up. You got to be ready. so that you won't be resisting it when you're uplifted. Instead of trying to lift yourself up, we're supposed to be uplifted. You understand? Okay. Now you don't have to believe in any of this. We're clear about that. Okay, good. Because then I can talk as weird as I want to. All right. Cool. You think you got to believe me, then the resistance is going to come up. No, okay. Okay, so the power that is not seen but is hidden in the depth of the ocean rises up, forms that wave, sustains the wave. So the same thing that uplifts us is going to sustain us. So if you're trying to sustain yourself and you feel unsustained, you're trying to lift your own wave. You're not allowing yourself to be uplifted by the ocean that created you. You are trying to do it all on your own. So you're drained. Okay. And it says that we'll be sustained by the ocean that created us throughout the duration of our expression. So as long as I'm here, I can be sustained. As long as I'm here, I can be taken care of. As long as I'm here, I can be taken care of. As long as you're here, you can be sustained. Unless you don't believe it. In the sense that it's not that you're not still being sustained, but if you lose sight of the fact that you're being sustained, it'll look like you're not being sustained. Because whatever you perceive is going to be based on what you think. So to you, even though you could be surrounded by love, you'll think there's no love in your life. Because you're tuned to green and love is red. So even though red is all around you, it's like you're colorblind, you won't see it. So if you're living a life of fear, conflict, and guilt right now, you're looking at your life through eyes that are not yours. Now be with that one for a minute. That means you're looking through eyes that are made up, not through your true vision. Because your true vision will only see the love, and that you are sustained by love, and that you're beauty, and that you're simplicity, and that you're truth, and that you're this wave coming out of the ocean of love, that's being sustained by the ocean that created it. Yeah, that's cool, but do they have flat screens? That's what I'm Can I find, forget that. That's what I want is a flat screen right now. I don't want to be an ocean wave. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but the flat screen is nothing but an echo of the voice of God. It's just thrown in. When you go for the love, everything else is going to take care of itself. When I go for the love, everything else is going to go take care of itself. So it says it's from the depth of that ocean that it is decided when that wave shall return to the sea. So here you are, you the wave, you're being sustained by the ocean. Why are you here, wave? Well, through my own unique individuality, I'm here to express the simplicity and the beauty and the innocence and the creativity of the truth of love. I will be sustained as long as I want to fulfill that purpose. But I'm going to do it in my own unique individual way. Poof! Earl Purdy, Course in Miracles teacher. and whatever you do, that's your own unique way. See, that's the cool part. But I must not forget that I'm a wave in the ocean. Well, actually out of the ocean. The ocean has allowed me to arise. So that's what you are right now. You're just this wave. And when you go back into the ocean, which you might call death, which really isn't, there's no such thing, then in the meanwhile, now the way I figure it, you come up you come up out of the ocean as the wave, right? That's when you're born. That's right. So I figure my wave is right about. My wave is somewhere around there. All right. So I'm getting ready to go back into the ocean, and the ocean is bigger than a wave, so there's no loss. So what I must do before I go back into the ocean is to express my unique individuality and the simplicity and the beauty and the truth of love. So you all are all on various places on the wavelength. Now don't worry about that. Don't be freaking out about the fact the wave's gonna hit the ocean again, because you'd be just like a dolphin. You'll come back up again as another wave, but you'll look like something else that time. So you've been jumping out the ocean for years. So don't get hung up on the wave you are now. You just go wave bye-bye. All right. That's what I'm trying to have fun with this Earl Purdy physical man, think he black man in America teacher wave. It will only happen once. This one is only, the wave in me will continue to live, but this particular form of the wave will only happen once. You see what I'm saying? So don't spend your whole wave worrying about bills. Don't spend your whole wave worrying about whether somebody's going to love you and you're going to have a special relationship. Don't spend the whole wave worrying about money. Don't spend the whole wave in fear, judgment, grievances, looking at the past, not letting yourself be. That's what people do. Right? Right?
Right.
Okay. Questions, comments, ahas. Yes, Chris. Wow.
So like you were saying that, like, the wave goes down and then reappears another wave, and then that wave goes down and then reappears another wave. Does there ever get, and like I don't know if like this can even be answered, but does there ever get a point where you're like, yeah, I don't want to like keep coming back as a wave. I want to like stay in the ocean.
Yes.
And
it's always anything that comes up, tell yourself it's all happening because of choice. And you'll always have choice, right?
Right.
So you could choose not to be. There's some beings outside of the body that never incarnate. They never give themselves the physical experience of being in a body. Because being without a body is our natural state. Being without a body is our natural state. That's why we feel so unnatural here. That's why it doesn't make sense to us. And everybody who will tell the truth deep down inside knows what I'm saying is true. There's some part of you that goes, this really doesn't make it. There's got to be more. It got to be something more than this, than what I was taught, So yes, there's a point if you choose, you don't have to even begin to have another Chris body. But you chose the Chris body because there was some unique expression of love that could come through Chris body that would come in a way that nobody else does it. And Chris, that's true about you. I feel the love all the time coming in the Chris way. Matter of fact, you got a Chris-like love. It's the Christ-like love, then it's the Chris-like love. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And how do you know it's the truth? Because it brought you joy to hear what I said. And if you're hearing something and it doesn't bring you any joy, you know what you're hearing is a lie. Okay, that's how you can tell a lie from what's true. If it's true, it's going to bring joy and love. If it's a lie, you'll be the most depressed, pitiful, unconscious, crazy person around. But you're still cute. And it's all right. Don't worry about it, okay? You just be like most people. You just be a member of society. Okay, anybody else? Yes.
So, you mentioned purpose. That's something that for me it's a delicate subject.
Yes.
So I've thought maybe sometimes I've been a wave many times before the purpose has even been a notion. Is the purpose in every wave?
The purpose is in every wave all the time, the whole time. And what might be happening is that I might not be aware of the purpose, but it doesn't mean the purpose isn't there. And so what happens when I'm not aware of the purpose? Well, the ocean, we call it another word for God, right? The ocean then makes you aware of your purpose. And it does it in weird ways, like coming to hear weird dudes like me on a Tuesday night. Something you hear on the news, something inside of you that makes you study something or tune into something, That's the ocean making you aware of your purpose.
Okay.
Again. And we have the same purpose. All of us. But don't forget it's saying, but we need your unique individual way of expressing that purpose of love and truth and innocence and simplicity. And that's why you got to live your own life, and you can't live your life the way other people tell you that you need to live it. You can't do nothing the way that other people tell you that you need to do it to fulfill your true purpose. You know, you don't need somebody to tell you what to wear. You don't need somebody to tell you what success is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, that they're telling you their path, and then they want you to follow it because, well, it makes it easier for them. You know, but true happiness comes from the expression of your own unique individuality, and that does not mean you're going to be in conflict with everything around you any more than a transmission and a motor in a car are in conflict, even though they look like they're totally two different things. But what keeps them from conflicting? They all have the same purpose, to move the car forward. So if we use our own individuality to move love forward, we would never be in conflict with each other. But if the motor tried to be the transmission, and the transmission tried to act like the motor, and then neither one of them wanted to move the car, you have America. Or wherever in the world there's conflict. That's what you got. You got a lot of individual parts of the same car all trying to be the number one part, and with their own particular thing they want to do other than move the car forward. And that's the world we live in. Everybody just wants to be special. That's it. They just want to be special. Whether it's through having more than anyone else, or less than anyone else, seeming like you more, you know. But the truth is, it's kind of redundant to want to be special because you already are. It's like you're busy trying to accomplish something. It's like me getting up this morning and saying, well, let me try to be black. That's the way it is when you wake up in the morning and you want to be treated special. It's the same thing. It's like you're trying to make something. You're already unique. There's already nobody else like you. You already don't have any competition. You're just suffering, Earl, when you suffer because you're trying to live someone else's path. Yes.
I was just going to say something based on what he had just mentioned and what you just said too. So I've been practicing a lot of this stuff and seeing miracles, and it's been amazing. And I'm also seeing some challenges where I have stopped and just been like, okay, look at this a different way. And I was looking into like, what is my real purpose, and meditating upon it a lot. And it's in healing. And I think that's, you know, brings up the uniqueness of how I can. I come into touch with people every day, and I bring their beauty from inside out. It's not just doing hair or, you know, they leave special and they feel good. And I listen to their stories, and that makes me feel really awesome. And my mom has been, it's kind of been one of those issues where I didn't know how to heal with her. And in the past, she just kind of would break down and yell at me. And just recently she did that a couple of days ago. And I just said, I love you, Mom. You know, I don't know what to say, but thank you for sharing. And I slept on it. And I was like, how can I really heal her? And I'm in different relationships in my life, too. I'm like, they're here reaching out to me. You know, like, this is my way. Instead of just being like, they don't know what's going on, I'm just going to push them away. I'm like, how can I give what I know or be healed with them? Because, I mean, they're sharing with me, too. We're both teachers and whatnot. And my mom called me the next day, and she was like, you know what, Sarah, I love you so much. And she was like, right now I'm probably not the best person for you to talk to, and I think I just need to go get healing myself. And she's like, I hope you have a great day. And since then, like, it's been a really powerful relationship between us. And I mean, all I had to do was just step back and ask for the right next best thing to do.
Simplicity.
Yeah.
Simplicity. That was but you did the key thing. You applied it.
Instead of just because I wanted to just be like, no, you need to stop driving and screaming, and it's against the law. Why are you texting me right now? She's like, okay, whenever you're ready to talk about this, you know, I'm here and I want to talk about it in a good space, and it worked.
Well, you sound cute and innocent when you was going off. You just can't, any way it go, you just sound cute and innocent. You blown it, you know. Okay.
I wanted
but
to.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen that so many times you can solve things by asking for another perception of it and watch it change quicker than you can ever try to talk that person into changing. You know, like we're convinced that you just sit down with your mama and have a long conversation with her and get her to blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? But no, what did you do? You just stopped and did exactly what Yeshua is saying in this book. You know, hey, let me ask for another way for me to look at it.
Because she's not going to listen to me. She's going to just misinterpret everything I'm saying, and then...
Yeah, she's going to hear her own interpretation and her own meanings or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
But what's cool is to know that she is a part of the ocean and you're a part of the ocean, and you can communicate to her ocean to ocean,
Right.
not wave to wave.
Right.
And that's why, you know, because in the ocean, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
people you can't reach through verbally talking to them, you could just go into meditation and ask to communicate with their higher self, with your higher self, and bypass their ego altogether.
Nice.
That would be the quick way.
I'm gonna practice that next time.
Yeah. Now remember, the first time you attempt to try anything radically new, you usually set it up to fail. That's very important to understand.
Yeah.
That the Course says when you get ready to make a radical shift in your consciousness, the part of you that doesn't believe that it works will try to do everything it can in the initial attempt to make you fail so you will stop. So when I go after something really big, especially if I think it means a lot, then I always leave room for it not to turn out the way that I want it to. Then I'll keep on doing it and it won't stop me. Because I'm aware that I probably tried to sabotage it at first. That part of me that was creating the reality that I'm trying to change. Who created that? Right? So that part of me that created the reality that I'm trying to change, that part of me is not about change. So it's going to try to sabotage my new beginning. So that's what was so cool. You turned it in on yourself and say, how can I see things differently? And then the next level is, can I make myself still feel peace even if my mother had never called? That's the highest level.
What is it in her that, like, I've done in my life that's upsetting me too?
Exactly. You've done it. Yeah.
Forgiving that part of myself.
Exactly. You know, you've gone off.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've gone off. Everybody in here has. But we act like it's so strange when we see it. Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
There's something you do that much, you still be acting like it's strange.
Right.
Like being unhappy. Isn't it a trip that we still act shocked? That ought to be the first thing we feel is normal. Oh, I'm unhappy again. Okay, all right. Let me just go to the movies. Yeah, well, you know, we go, oh, I'm unhappy. You've been unhappy like, what, 1,000,000 times? Okay, let's go on further. Says, does that mean that the wave disappears? Well, only from one perspective the wave disappears. But in reality, the very substance that has made manifest truly has not known birth and death, but only expression. So what you are really doesn't really die, and it really isn't born. What you are really is just something that's expressing. Right? What if you were to consider yourself a wave, which we've already just been doing, arising from the holy mind of God, born of God's infinite desire to expand herself?
Yes, it probably says it.
In other words, you're here to express the infinite nature of love and creativity. I'm here to express the infinite nature of love. So I act more loving than I am. You better remember that. I'm a work in progress just like you. But I'm not going to wait. I'm going to be proactive in attempting to express love. I used to wait for people to express it to me, and if they express it to me satisfactorily, then I would maybe give some back. Okay, I'm trying to do it another way. So what if you begin to realize that all that you have called yourself is the effect of love? In other words, that you did not cause yourself to come into existence. You didn't cause yourself to come into existence. You did not cause yourself. You did not create 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 yourself. And yet, as you have arisen from that ocean of love, isn't the wave made of the same substance as the sea? isn't the wave made up of the same substance as the ocean? Well, then that means, are you not given infinite and perfect freedom? See, that's the thing that's the trip, y'all, is the reason why we seem stagnant and the reason why we seem stuck is because we have infinite freedom and because we have perfect freedom. You are so free that you can stay the way you are as long as you want. See, that's actually a result of the freedom that we have. That you can kid around and mess around and go as slow as you want to go towards your happiness. You can be as fixed as you want to be. You can keep your habits as long as you want to be. But beware, you are free. So that means that nothing interferes with you. So if you want to be that way, nothing's going to change you because you're free. You're like a prisoner in a cell with the door open on the cell. The prison deserted, weeds in the courtyard, waiting for somebody to come set you free. And where's the help? Well, you're not in prison. So there's nothing for me to save you for. Wow. So just as your Creator perceives you, you are given the freedom to see yourself. And all of the other waves you might notice, even the wave itself, in any way that you choose. So we also are waves looking for other waves. Right? We're looking for the special wave. That's what my S stands for. Right? Super wave. I used to have super waves. Don't you want to bring that up? You know what my hair would look like if y'all saw my hair? Let me tell you what I look like. Would you like to know?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing that would happen would be I'd only have hair around here. I wouldn't have any hair up here. That's what my father was. So I'd be like, and it'd be white. Everything would be white.
Glad you don't have hair.
You know. Hey! You're supposed to say, I think it would be beautiful anyway, Wayne. Back to the ocean. So I don't know why I said that, but I did. Okay. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I just thought I'd just say it. Okay. All right. Okay, then you are going to have special waves offered up to you to learn through because you can't meet all the waves. There's not enough physical time to meet all the waves. So there'll be certain waves or relationships offered to you. They will be sent to you because that would be the perfect wave to help you express that truth, that simplicity, that love, and that innocence, and that creativity, and that truth that you want to express. So you don't have to be a wave alone. Okay? And then you can become one wave. But just practice safe wave. Some of y'all was waving recently. Be careful out there. So the goal then of genuine spirituality is to realign the quality of your perception. In other words, to mirror, to resonate with, to be in perfect alignment with the perception of your Creator. What does that mean? Your purpose then is to see with God's eyes. So my job is to learn how to see things the way love would see it, the way truth would see it, the way light would see it, the way joy would see it, the way abundance would see it, the way something unlimited would see it. Beloved friends, in truth you remain as you were created to be. This means that in each and every moment you are literally using the power found in the silent depth of the ocean of God's love that gave rise to your very creation and existence to perceive as you desire. In each and every moment, you are literally using the power found in the silent depth of the ocean of God's love that gave rise to your very creation and existence to perceive as you desire. Therefore, in this lesson, we will address the very nature of desire itself. We're going to talk about desire. We will address what desire means. Have you ever told somebody, I desire you?
Mm-hmm. Not yet.
Yeah, well, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Because to wholly desire something is to create it. When you wholly desire something without any opposing desire, it will be created. But that's the problem. I sort of love you, but not 100%. I kind of really want to be abundant, but not really. You know what I'm saying? We don't go 100%. Think about that. How much do you go 100% about? With no hesitation, no fear, no resistance. And to desire is to wholly create. So it says we will address the power of desire, the value of desire, the meaning and purpose of desire, and how to begin to bring that energy, which at times feels like a team of 1,000 wild horses, all wanting to go in their own directions. Isn't that right? Yeah. Sometimes our desires feel like 1,000 wild horses trying to go in their own directions. This is you want to get in touch with that energy that is under your conscious and deliberate direction. You want to start allowing your desire to be under your conscious direction. What does that mean? To have conscious direction means to have deliberate direction. I am deliberately moving in this direction. I deliberately move toward teaching this class. I deliberately move toward studying. I deliberately move toward trying to raise my consciousness and be more. I don't wait for that to happen. I deliberately choose that. So it says, so that you might create as your Creator created you. And how is that? You were created with perfect, deliberate, and infinite love. You were created with perfect and infinite and what? Deliberate joy. Whew. So you were created with perfect, infinite, and deliberate joy. Something created you and that just was smiling. as it was cooking you up. It was joyful. Boy, maybe you grew up in a home where your parents or your guardians didn't exactly seem thrilled to see you come through the door every day. So you've forgotten what it feels like to have someone look at you with deliberate joy. With perfect freedom. So desire. So let's say that word. Desire. Growl with it a little bit. Desire. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's right. Desire. Thank you for sharing. Tara, she did it kind of slow. we did that 5 minutes ago.
But when you get it, you're really
Because when she got it. She was on it once when she finally got it. Yeah. When I walked upon your planet as a man, I confronted many different opinions about the nature of creation, the nature of humankind, the nature of consciousness, and the nature of self-identity. Just as you are now confronted with many schools of thought, so too was I. While that can seem to lead to great confusion, as though one must choose from the smorgasbord, it actually serves not unlike the sand inside the oyster from which the pearl will come. It causes you to great insight. So all of the different schools of thought that we're dealing with, we're being told that it's the same as a grain of sand inside an oyster that becomes a pearl. So everything that's happening to us, all the challenges that we're going through is turning us into a pearl. And some of y'all going to be like mini carrots. Depending on what you're going through right now, your pearl going to be awesome. Okay? So you must find your own way to your own truth. You must find your own way to your own truth. You must find your own way to your own truth. You must find your own way to your own truth. All right. Before each and every one of you lies your pathway, okay? A doorway. An eye in the needle, but guess what? only you can pass through your needle. You can only thread your own needle. I know other people try to thread your needle, but you're the only one that can thread. Anybody ever try to thread your needle? Okay, you're the only one that can thread. You're the only one that can thread your own needle. Don't you forget that, all right? All right. So that means that, therefore, in some respects, you are seemingly alone. You must make the decision to desire above all things, above all things, above all things, above all things. You must desire to awaken to a perfect remembrance of your union with God. Above all things, I want to awake with the perfect remembrance that I'm united with that which created me. I want to remember that I am united with that which created me. Because if I remember that I am united with God, if I am united with that which created me, then I have the power of the ocean behind me to sustain me. I'm not alone anymore. I could not have taught the Course in Miracles 27 years basically on a financial appreciation basis without being a nervous wreck if I thought it was just me on my own doing this. Does that make sense to everybody? People change constantly. I can't tell you how many incredible beings I've met in the last 30 years. But they all have one thing in common. They're waves. They come and they go. What is consistent is whatever is sustaining me behind that. So do I appreciate the waves? Yeah, you all are giving me an incredible shower right now. I'm bathing in your wave. Will I try to imprison you to always be waving me? No. But I have to trust there'll always be another wave. Then I can free you. But if I think you're my only wave, then I'm going to be trying to cling to you, manipulate you, possess you for my own good. You follow what I'm saying? So when you got to always realize there'll always be another lover. There'll always be another partner. There'll always be another job. There'll always be another. There'll always be another. There'll always be another, because the ocean is infinite and eternal. The waves are going to keep on coming. You a wave. You're going to keep on coming. You're going to come twice.
Oh boy.
I don't know what meanings you ought to give it to what I'm saying, but I approve. Because I like to be around people who laugh and like to have a good time. I like to be around passionate people. You know, people with desire. Yeah, that's what I like. So I'm thrilled to be around you. You are my Christmas present. That's right. You are.
You're ours.
Thank you. That's what I want to be. I want to be your Christmas present. The Course in Miracles teaches that Christmas should symbolize the end of sacrifice. That it should symbolize that you're no longer going to believe in loss anymore. That you could lose. That you could ever lose anything that's real. That's what we should be celebrating. That we never lose. No matter what it looks like. Wow. So just as a wave might finally decide that it has been birthed not to be fearful of being a wave, and you get to the point that you truly claim your individuation, your uniqueness, and you go, I'm going to live my uniqueness fully, and in that fullness I have decided to discover a way to be aware of my infinite union with the ocean itself. I want to discover a way to become aware of that which created me. I'm going to decide to somehow break free of the myopic self-identification as one little piece of wave that arises in a place or a field of time that lasts for but a second and then disappears. Whoa! What did I just say? What I just said is, at some point, the wave decides that it doesn't want to just be something that just lasts an instant and disappears. That the wave goes, you know what? I think I want to know what I'm connected to so that I can go beyond this little view of myself and know myself as more than something that's going to be temporary that only lasts a little while. That's the decision I'm making for myself. That I'm not going to limit myself to the limited beliefs that humans have about what they are. That I'm not going to buy the company line that I'm just somebody that came here by accident, going to live a few years the best I can and be dead and gone, and that's the end of me forever. I ain't buying it. Everybody else can buy it if they want to buy it, that's fine. But I'm choosing not to buy it. That's what he said. Because how? Why? Because I want to get in touch with what it was that thought me up. Something did. And if it thought me up, it can keep me around. As a matter of fact, I am going to stay around. But I just might not stay around looking like this. You know, for all you know, the rocks in your yard checking you out.
I've seen a couple check me out.
Oh, that was too good of a straight line. Oh, I won't say that. That's what I'm going to say that for my inappropriate teacher class that I'm going to do on YouTube. So I can really meet all the fun people. Yes. Okay, all right. All right. So before I go any further, questions, comments? Does anybody think they have any general idea what the hell I'm talking about? Is that everybody kind of with me a little bit, y'all? Okay. Okay.
I kind of actually like really feel like I know what you're talking about in the sense that the other night, you remember how you used to talk about if you truly love your brother, you wouldn't be able to walk in the room without me busting into tears.
That's right.
Because you're just so beautiful.
That's right.
Well, that kind of happened to me the other night when I was just kind of like, okay, so I don't have to think about anything this world has ever taught me as far as intellectuality goes. And just think about any loving moment and just, I kind of just dropped all my past. It felt like I dropped my whole perspective. Like, I just put it on the ground for a second. And then this feeling just came through me, and I just couldn't stop feeling good, you know? It was weird, man. I was just like, what are all these good genius thoughts that I'm having, and genius ideas, and everything just seemed to connect so easily and just come together like without any kind of wild horse pulling me in the opposite direction.
There you go. Thank you.
So I just felt like I can express love to everybody regardless of what they look like, what I think I'm judging them for. And then every time judgment has come up for me, it's like instantaneously I'm seeing it weird. I'm like, that's interesting. I'm feeling like the ego has something to say right now, but I really don't want to listen. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this to the Holy Spirit. And doing that, it just brings another genius idea right into my head. And it's just how easy it just keeps snowballing into like a glacier.
See, you did. Thank you. You did the same thing. He did. What did he do? He applied it.
Mm-hmm.
What a radical concept! You applied it. It worked. I know. When the people tell me this stuff isn't working, I always know it means they're not applying it.
I started watching all the people walking down the street, and I'm all, damn, I'm hot. Ooh, hot.
That's exactly right.
And I did.
That's
I
exactly
have
right.
a woman of mine that is dealing with death right now. And I went and visited her, and on my way home, I was able to just let it go and cry out of beauty and happiness. And then I started crying for my mom and my family and all this stuff. And it was all out of peace and joy. And like I had no harm in any of it. I just got home and I was like, wow, that was a really beautiful moment.
And it was even funnier. I recognized that in you when you were talking about it. Like there was parts where you had to hold yourself back from like crying because you were just like, it's so beautiful how easy this is to spread love. And that happened to me the other night too. I was trying to explain it to someone. I'm like, sorry man, sorry if it sounds like I'm crying. Kind of am at the moment.
That's why it sounds like it.
It's just so damn beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you acting like God's bitch. I guess I am. Me too. That's right.
He's a great master.
That's right. With two men that's willing to be the bitches of God. Totally. Anybody else? Any thoughts? You can be comments, it can be ahas, it can be questions. Because it's just great to hear your thoughts. Yeah.
Well, it's so beautiful because, like, even like when I'm alone and like I'm reading this stuff or I'm hearing it, like when I'm here and like right now during the class, it's like everything I could see, like the whole picture, and it's coming together, and I'm like, how beautiful. But then like I go home and like I read the stuff and like I hear it and everything, and yeah, I do get some ahas, but it doesn't like click.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't like I don't see as much as I am seeing right now.
That's the power of joining. You're just describing the power of joining. That's why we want to join. That's why we want to come together, because your ego can never prevail when two or more join together on the truth. That's why your ego is the part of you that likes to get you by yourself when you're feeling afraid or you're feeling upset. The first thing you want to do is separate. Because if you separate, then you're just going to be listening to your own crazy thoughts, and that's all. And that's what your ego, which is the part of you that doesn't love you, that's what it wants you to only listen to its voice. So the quickest way to get past ego upset is to join, not to separate. But that's when the people are most likely to want to separate. So if you do separate, then put on a video. Listen to some truth. Just don't listen to yourself. Especially if you're telling yourself crazy, unloving things. Don't isolate yourself so that you can just hear that crazy voice. So that's why when we're together, I can share this, and because we're together, everybody seems and appears to be getting it more and actually enjoying what we're hearing, because we're joined. That's love. Love is union. It's connection. So we don't even know how many things are not going to happen to us that would be unpleasant because we spent this time together. That will never occur. Just because we spent this time. The Course in Miracles says that for every moment that we join together on the truth, we save at least 100 years of suffering for ourselves. So how many years is that in the hour? If it's 100 years a minute, then it's 60 minutes.
6,000.
Thank you. Without my computer, I don't know. I used to know these things, but that was before Siri. and that's our problem. We've got to stop being serious. And we got to Siri us. Get in touch with the knowledge that's within us.
Well,
yes.
And I believe that, like, even like when I read Course in Miracles, I'm starting to believe that even when I read it and like, it seems like I don't understand it, like a part of me is still getting it, and that plants the seed that then later grows. Yes.
There's never a time that you focus on the truth that there's not a part of you eating it up. And the part of you that forgets it is the part that never was interested in it in the first place. But there's another you. See, that's what's such a trip. You begin to realize there's another you that you didn't even know about. And it's that you that brings you to a class. It's that you that gets you to read the book. It's that you that's willing to say, I want another way of looking at it. It's not the regular old you that thinks it's separate from God and love and is on its own. That old self is the one that keeps all your pain going. The part that as soon as you walk out of the door, you go right back to your opinions and what you can do on your own and how you can figure it out. And, that you is the one that's creating the hell that you go through all the time. But there's another you that is absolutely infinite and powerful and loving and only deserves love. And it knows it. That's why it won't stand for all this stuff we're trying to do to ourselves. Thank God there's a part of me that loves me more than I do. And sometimes you can see that part of yourself because it'll be reflected back to you through people treating you better than you think you deserve. That's when you're meeting the love for yourself that you don't even realize you have. If you think you're kind of pitiful, surrounded by incredible people, then you have a level of love for yourself that you're out of touch with. That's why they're there. That's why they're treating you nicer than you think you deserve to be treated. Because you really do love yourself, but you've forgotten. And they're there to witness that you do. And the ones who witness that you don't love yourself, then you have to learn how to choose out of relationships with them. The ones you say, you know what? I used to feel this way about myself, but you know what? It doesn't serve me for you to criticize, judge, and condemn me now. Okay, that was a time I thought I needed that, but if you're going to insist on keep doing this, you're innocent, but I'm going to choose out of this, okay? That's what you do. And they'll find somebody else to judge if they're still not ready to be free themselves. You hear what I said? They'll find somebody else if they're not ready to be happy themselves, who they can judge. So you'll find you won't be able to take the stuff you used to take. And you actually think you're becoming more impatient instead of patient. But you are supposed to be impatient with suffering, not patient with it. You know, being on a high level of consciousness don't mean you can suffer longer better. It actually means you can't take it anymore and you won't stand for it. That's how you can tell you're beginning to spiritually awaken. Minor intrusions of discomfort you won't be able to tolerate. So you will be saying, like, this is getting on my last nerve. That's not a bad unconscious statement. Yes.
What do you from there? Like, once you start hearing those sorts of callings on a regular basis and like you have a vague way to carry them through with your actions, how do you support yourself in sort of leaving behind what's perpetuating those voices of like patience with suffering? Like
Well, what I do is I realize if everything is coming from my thought and my thought is creating my experience, then the first thing I'm going to do is put as much time into a new way of thinking as possible, like my own spiritual practice. And I'm going to also choose to be in as many relationships and be as proactive as I can about being around other people who also want to do the same thing. And then I'm going to cut my communication and connection with the people who represent the thing that I want to get away from, provided I've given them a choice and they're still choosing, right? And I'm not going to condemn them because I'm only seeing my own past. So if I condemn them, I'm condemning myself. So even if I choose something different, I'm not doing it from the standpoint that I'm putting them down. And I'm always willing to reconnect with them in the time that they also want to join me on the path to love. But you're not supposed to wait until somebody is ready. You're supposed to keep on moving forward and then let them hop on the train.
yeah,
That's why in my classes, I don't ever do my classes differently because new people come. You know, because I don't believe they would be showing up if they weren't divinely sent. So they needed to hear whatever I got to say exactly the way that I want to say it. That's why they're here. That's why when it comes to your own unique individuality, the people will be sent to you who would most benefit from you being the way you are. The way you are. So you don't have to worry about changing for someone who is the right person for you. They're not going to ask you to change. They're going to say, be more you. I want to see whatever you, I want to see more of you. Yeah, I don't want to try to get in because at some point I realize that if I have a fantasy that I look for somebody to fulfill, then I'm going to make everybody the same. And then I won't have any new experiences. Because I just be looking for you to act out the fantasy, and if you don't, then I look for you to act it out. So I'm really not giving myself an opportunity to see your wave, and your wave. All I'm trying to see is my need met and my fantasy. So then everybody start boring me because they'll all be the same. Because I'm making them the same through just wanting them to be the same to fulfill my fantasy. I didn't start seeing women as multidimensional beings until I started to let go of my fantasies about what I thought I wanted to experience with them. Then I could see the bigger picture. You see what I mean? So now I'm excited about the people that I'm around because I'm even more committed to, yeah, I have my preferences, but I'm going to try to take my agenda off of everybody in my life right now and see who shows up when I'm not trying to color them with my desires. And what I found out was that the universe is so cool, the ocean is so cool, that it will send the people who will also fulfill your fantasies. And then you'll be letting everybody else be who that. But these people, that's the way they are anyway, so they're not really trying to please you. It's just that's the way they are. So you happy. You getting what you like without trying to manipulate somebody because somebody's already showing up just the way you fantasized. And you letting go of your agenda so you get a chance to see aspects of everybody around you that you've never seen before because we're all unique waves. It's a win-win. It's always a win-win with the truth. Everybody wins with the truth. That's how you know when you're not dealing with the truth. Somebody appears to lose. And in any situation that somebody appears to lose, you're not dealing with the truth. This is what this is saying, that you don't have to believe. Remember that. You don't have to believe anything I'm saying. So why don't I see that I never lose? Because I believe in loss. And so I'm looking at it in terms of what's missing instead of looking at things in terms of what's the blessing. That's why it looks like I lose. It's just a perspective. You mean to tell me that, those 140 children that got shot up over in Pakistan, that was not a loss? Of course that would appear to be a loss to their family and their friends and the people around them. Was it a loss in reality? No, I'm going to claim it wasn't a loss in reality. Not out of a sense of not being compassionate, but from claiming that they are waves in the ocean of God and who they really are can never be destroyed, even if it looks like their body was. So I'm not going to kill them where everybody else does. So that's how I'm going to honor my brother and sister waves. See, so loss is just a perspective. It's not a reality. Some of the things, have you ever seen some things as some of the biggest losses you think you've ever had, and in a few months or a few years later, you'll look back and say, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. That set me in a direction that I wouldn't have ever gone to ordinarily. Yeah, but that's what you're going to say about everything that makes you unhappy right now. All of it. You're going to be, oh, I'm so glad that relationship ended. I'm so glad that job ended. Whoa, I got laid off. Really? Oh, I'm getting out of I got to move out of this apartment. I can't afford it. Oh, that's a tragedy. No, it just means there's some other place I'm supposed to be living right now that would work out even better for me if I looked at it correctly. So which one of those ways of looking at things make you feel better? The one where you didn't lose. Right? And you have a choice of how you want to look at it, right? So if you leave out here tonight and you continue to look at things the way you've always looked at it, could we agree that that's the way you want to look at it? And so therefore I should not feel upset about the results that you're getting. I should let you have the results that you are having because you obviously want to keep that result, right? So I'm going to pray that you recognize you deserve love if you're hurting yourself right now, but I'm going to totally not interfere with what you're doing to yourself because you had a choice and you're still continuing to look at it the way that you have been. So what does that mean? That means there's a definite lesson that your soul has chosen to learn through this situation. And that's what you call fate. Fate is anything that you don't use your awareness to change. Then that means you wanted to have that experience. I'm getting ready to have sex tonight. I'm in the middle of my ovulation. I want to have a baby. I had the awareness to pop the pill. I chose not to. I wanted to have. You see what I'm saying? Right. When you don't use your awareness, I like to use graphic examples, because they hit home more. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing that happens tonight. If you hear a different way of looking at things, and you choose to continue to look at it the way you're looking at it, you're totally innocent, you're totally free, and you're still loved. But you want the result you're currently getting. So just give yourself a break about that. Stop beating yourself up. You know, if you stay in that relationship, even though you know you're feeling no joy in that relationship and you've been through it round and round and round and around and around and around, but you're still staying in it, why don't you give yourself some power by just saying, I want to be in it? I'm on this job I've been complaining about for 6 months. Well, and I admit, I want to be there. Why? Because you're the one that's choosing to get up every morning and go to it. None of us at your house in the morning saying you better go to that job. You were choosing, right? But if I don't believe I'm sustained by the ocean, then I'm going to think that I need to do things I don't really want to do in my life. So you can always tell where the lack of faith is. It's where you are most unhappy. That's where your lack of faith is located. Tell me where you're most unhappy, and I'll tell you where you think you're doing it on your own, the way without the ocean. Deep. Deep. Isn't that deep?
It's deep.
You can tell when it gets deep, because when it gets deep, it gets quiet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, Lord, I stepped on a few toes around here. You know, because we all got those things. That I got habits that I haven't broken yet, because I still like the payoff that the suffering I get from it gives me. Mm-hmm. You know, and those are called patterns. Mm-hmm. That's the code name. My pattern. Your pattern is the thing that you like to keep yourself in misery about, because somehow or another you think your suffering serves some useful purpose. In the Course in Miracles, in the Way of Master said, I'll tell you what the purpose is. You know, you are actually trying to heal yourself. Mm-hmm. You think through suffering and punishing yourself, you're going to be good, you're going to be all right, because you grew up in a thought system that taught you it's through punishment that you're corrected. Mm-hmm. So you're just trying to punish yourself before God does. I'm trying to mitigate the punishment of my Creator by making myself suffer so much that I go, universe, look at how I'm already suffering. Mm-hmm. Why could you don't need to make me suffer. Look how miserable I already am. You don't have to punish me for being so unworthy. Look at what I'm doing to myself. As a matter of fact, I'm more dedicated than you. You might give me a break. I don't. I even have bad dreams. I don't even give myself a break when I go to sleep. That's how much I want to punish myself. Why? Because if I punish myself enough, I'll be okay. Again, I would have paid my debt. So if you've been suffering a long time, you've been paying for some pleasure. That's what you're doing. Because the truth says we believe that we have to pay for pleasure with some kind of pain. Pay for joy with some kind of pain. So every time you have a lot of joy, a lot of pleasure, a lot of feeling good about yourself, then right behind that you got to pay for it. Okay, I got to suffer right now. Okay, the relationship sucks, my job sucks, my weight sucks, everything just sucks. See, I'm paying for that pleasure with some pain. And I'm here to tell you, you've been pardoned. You went before the parole board, and we find you completely pardoned. You are now free to enjoy yourself without any need to be punished for your so-called sins.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I see that made everybody happy. It was the most thrilling news that the people in the room got. It just thrilled everybody. You know, it's like I can always tell who is hearing the truth by how people react. You can tell when people are just listening to themselves, but they're not listening to you. You can just look on the expression on your face. You know, that person is just listening to their own mind right now. And they're listening to their interpretation of what they think I'm saying right now. But they're not hearing me at all. Because nobody hears they're innocent and deserve to be loved and only loved and not have a reaction to that who actually heard it and believes that they deserved it. So there are no private thoughts. You don't ever have to worry about what somebody else is thinking. Just love them and you'll see how they feel about themselves. Just free them, and you'll see how they feel about themselves. So if you're around a person that gets depressed because you're talking in a loving way, you might want to reconsider if that's somebody you really want to hook up with. Really, because they've already told you they're going to be high maintenance. I don't make me happy, and I'm not letting you help me either.
Oh, shit.
I don't care how cute you think I am, I'm going to be a problem for you. But sometimes because they were so cute,
You try it.
I try it. And always regret it. Always regret it. Always, always regret it. Anybody you got to get, you need to get away from. That's the get you need to do. I'm going to get away from you. Why? Because I'm having to get you. You're not being freely offered of your own free will. You're not wanting me.
Yeah.
It's really simple. It's really simple. Yeah.
The pause for me when you said what you said
Mm-hmm.
is like, well, I don't see that. It's not that I doubted you or the book, the course. It's like, well, I am suffering, so what's going on? So I think it's the it like you said, you have to apply. You have to apply the principles. So to get to where I can like jump for joy when I hear that phrase,
Right.
or those words,
Right.
would be to ask for another way to look at this, or ask God to, like the course says, what do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want me to go? How do you want me to sit? Those just in every, if I see I'm suffering in a relationship or with my mother or with whatever,
Right.
Apply these principles. Say, how do you want me to see this?
That's right. I want another. At least I can decide I don't like what I feel right now. At least I can decide that I don't like to feel suffering right now. And so I hope I'm wrong. So you always want to follow it up when you're miserable about something that you don't want to be right. That's what it says, because if you hope you're wrong, then it opens you up to another way of looking at it. If you want to be right, then that shuts you off from hearing another way to look at it. So you want to go, at least I can decide I don't like what I feel right now, so I hope I have been wrong. Perhaps there's another way to look at it. I want another way to look at it. What can I lose by asking for another way to look at it? And then the other thing to keep in mind is that if I'm suffering and I'm suffering from what I'm telling myself and the meanings that I'm giving things, then what I need is new meanings, because my feelings are coming from the meanings, right? And so what these spiritual books do, these spiritual practices, they give you that new meaning. That new meaning is already here for you, like there is no such thing as loss. It's just another perception, you know what I mean? So at first, you give yourself the truth, but you don't make believing it important at first. So first you let yourself hear a new idea without believing that you need to believe it. Then you repeat it over and over and over again, and then you'll start to accept it as true, because that's how you learn how to accept what you think is true now, through repetition, right? But here's the cool part. When you start telling yourself the truth, you have the support of the ocean, God, the whole universe. So it doesn't take as long to change your mind back to the truth as it took to get your mind screwed up in the first place. So in other words, the undoing doesn't take as long as a doing. Demolishing a building doesn't take as long as constructing one. And what we're doing is undoing. So don't get caught up with how long you think this is going to take, because time and space are under the control of the ocean, not you. So you could have enlightenment tonight, since you don't have to enlighten yourself. What you're doing is giving permission to be enlightened. You know what I'm saying? It's like me not knowing my way around North Denver, and then me saying I'm willing to listen to your guidance about how to go around North Denver if you're familiar with it. See, because I'm willing to use him as a guide doesn't mean I've abdicated my position as the leader. It just means I'm willing to follow the guide so that I can get to where I want to go faster. And that's what we're learning how to do. We're learning how to get in touch with the ocean, with the guide, so we can save us some time. So if you all walk out of here tonight with less of a belief that you need to try to figure out everything on your own and do it by yourself, then I would feel like it's really been a class that's moved in the direction that I'm trying to go in. I'm not doing this class to make you in charge. I'm doing this class so that we all know that we're sustained by the ocean, and we got our own individual gifts to give. And as soon as we start giving those gifts, we'll stop being so pitiful and really be enjoying our lives more. It's our script that's making us unhappy, not God's. It's ours. And we deserve to be innocent. So let's acknowledge us for hearing that much. Lord have mercy. Yes. So let's do the financial expression of appreciation. I appreciate you sharing with me and online. Thank you for sharing with me. If you find value in what I give, just go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can make a financial expression of appreciation there. And I'm also available for one-on-one personal sessions using the Way of Mastery Course in Miracles and everything I've learned and my knowledge of astrology and numerology. For those who are interested, go to my website. It explains it. If you want links to these videos sent directly to your email, just go to my website and sign up on my contact list. And you will be able to get these videos sent straight to you. And if there's anybody here that would like to be on the list, let me know and I'll send you the pad. So because you all know that we'll leave out of here and go back into our regular way of thinking and forget so much of what we heard tonight. So it's repetition that taught you to think the way you think that you wish you weren't thinking that way.
Right.
So it's going to take repetition to bring you out of that. So it's hearing it over and over and over and over and over and over again in different ways, which is cool. Absolutely. Okay. All right. One thing I heard tonight that I really, I'm going to have Course in Miracles, Sunday at 1 o'clock in the class next Tuesday. We're going to be here. I enjoy this more than anything. It's always difficult for me not to do a class for any reason. It's not like I'm going to be doing something I'd enjoy more than having an opportunity to hear the truth and wake up and laugh and play. And also, like you said, if you're suffering and like you said, you don't feel like you want to jump up and down and shout at first, don't make yourself feel bad about that. Just remind yourself that I still need to change my perception. There's still something about my perception that I just need to change. That's all. Because I am the wave. I am in the ocean whether I think I am or not. So anybody want to answer this? One thing I heard tonight that I want to remember is purpose. Purpose is meaning. If you want to know the meaning of something, it's always the purpose. Think about that for a second. Purpose is meaning. If I tell you what my purpose is with you, I just told you what you mean to me. What I want to do with you is what you mean to me. That's deep. Purpose is meaning. Anybody else?
I want to desire to remember that I am one with my source.
Yes. Above all else, I want to remember that I'm one with my source.
Off of that, being connected to be sustained.
Being connected so you know that, and to know that I am sustained, I want to let go of every block that keeps me from knowing it. Yeah.
That I'm not alone, and I don't have to do this alone.
That's right. I'm not alone, and I don't have to do this. Thank you.
You must find your own way to the truth, to your own truth.
Yeah.
It's up to you to find your own way.
Yeah. Which really is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the idea that it's okay for me, because until you make the truth yours, it won't have any meaning to you. It's like we can hear all this, but you got to make it yours. And how do you make it yours? You make it yours by looking at it through your own perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you make it yours, which is awesome.
And by applying it, right?
It definitely by applying it, But check it out. Applying it is just using it as a viewpoint instead of a philosophy. Like you said, a viewpoint. Oh, what is it in me that needs to be corrected right now?
And seeing it through the life of my creator and not through somebody else, a family member, an acquaintance or whatnot.
And remember, your family members and your friends, if they're unhappy, their perception by definition is incorrect.
Right.
So to want to follow the advice of lots of unhappy people is not really a conscious thing to do.
Right.
Think about that just for a second.
Right.
The person that's the most depressed might not be the one that you should go to for optimism. And you feel really good. So you might want to say, okay, they're feeling depressed. That means they think they are being deprived of something that they want but can't have. That's what depression always is. There's something I want that I think I can't have. That's the root of depression. And so so the truth would say there's no such thing as you not being able to have what you want. So by definition, whatever you don't have is something you no longer want nor need. it's no longer serving you. And that's why it's not there. And the ego will say, oh, no. That's okay. Let it do its thing. But the truth is, nothing's absent that you need. No one is absent that you need. Ever. Whew. Wow. Anybody else?
No such thing as losing.
There's no such thing as losing. Really. Yes.
I like what you said about the that we're about the waves. How we're only going to be this particular wave. We may reincarnate as another wave, but we're only going to be this wave this one time. And I like what you said about not like something else will come along. The people in the class, other waves will come, and other relationships, other jobs. That does give you a woosah. Like
and I tell you something else. From my experience, the wave gets better. It really actually gets better. It's like you all are just, coolest waves ever. You know what I mean? So I like that. Everything is going in the direction of more love, more joy, more happiness, not less. So let's just, right now, bless and release our past. Let's bless and release everyone that's in our past so that we will not limit our own good. Clear that space out that you're filling up with them or it so that the next blessing will come in and have a place to come in your consciousness and in your life. That person or that situation, say, I learned as much as I could from that person or that situation at this time. I've learned as much as I can from that person or this situation at this time. And now it appears that we're separate. But all relationships are destined to become healed. So just chill about it. All right? So take a breath. We're going to finish this up with one little thought before we go. Because I want to say something over and over for a minute. Remember what I said about repetition? You must find your own way to your own truth. You must find your own way to your truth. Before each and every one of you lies your pathway. Is lying in front of you. Your pathway. Your pathway. Your pathway. Not my pathway. Not your parents' pathway. Your pathway. It's a doorway. So say, my pathway is my doorway. 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 It's like an eye of a needle through which only you can fit. Only you can fit through the eye of your needle. Only you can fit through the eye of your needle. So you must make the decision to desire above all things awakening into your perfect remembrance. Awakening into your perfect remembrance. Make the decision to desire above all things to awaken into perfect remembrance of your union with God. I want to awaken into the perfect remembrance of my union with the ocean called God. I want to awaken into perfect remembrance of my union with love. devotion is so funky. Mugs are available. Happy holidays. Merry end of sacrifice.
Yes.
All right.